It's the most powerful show on television. High drama, with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
Speed Station welcomes you to Mansfield Speedway in Mansfield, Ohio for the inaugural running of the NASCAR Hall of Fame Legends Race. And for a quick breakdown of today's event, we have 41 NASCAR legends, those being famous, semi, or fully retired drivers from former years of NASCAR competition, going for 100 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 33 and Stage 2 ends on lap 66. The purse is $500,000 for the field. Kerry Earnhardt wins the pole above three-time Truck Series champion Jack Sprague. Steve Grissom in third, Todd Bodine fourth, Phil Parsons fifth, Dale Jarrett sixth, Jeff Burton seventh, Kenny Schrader in eighth, Michael Waltrip in ninth, and David Green round out the top 10.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Now I should also mention that very similar to the former International Race of Champions, or IROC, every single one of these 41 Legends cars are built the same. And by legend, I don't mean legends that you see run on a quarter mile, just the ones that these legends run. And there's the green flag for the inaugural NASCAR Hall of Fame Legends Race, and we are back asphalt racing at Mansfield. Kerry Earnhardt gets a very good jump as they head off into turn number 1. The 41 car of Steve Grissom files into second position. The inside line is definitely dominant as you see Phil Parsons challenging the 24 of Sprague on the inside. Now 3 wide with Michael Waltrip on the inside, taking up a spot off of Dale Jarrett. Bit of a battle for the lead forming with Steve Grissom on the inside of Earnhardt. Grissom will take the lead as they exit turn number 4. Earnhardt was able to get down to the bottom before Phil Parsons could challenge him for the second spot. Earnhardt now back onto the inside of the 41. Kerry Earnhardt is now back out front. Phil Parsons in the 55 is now under him. 3 wide for the lead as we enter turn number 3. Phil Parsons is now your leader. Jeff Burton now challenging the 2 car of Earnhardt for second. Burton has the position. Michael Waltrip now riding the back bumper of the 66 car of Burton. Looks like Waltrip will move up into third position. The yellow flag is out, and in the race back to the flag, it was Phil Parsons above Jeff Burton, Michael Waltrip, Kelly Moore, and Kerry Earnhardt. Here we go, 4 wide off of turn number 2. This is the battle for last position, believe it or not. The battle goes between the 24 of Jeff Gordon and the 46 of Frank Kimmel. Carries the 24 down to the inside wall. Heavy contact for Kimmel and Gordon, and then takes Mark Martin up into the outside wall as well. It's quite a shame that this early in the race, 10-time ARCA Menard Series champion Frank Kimmel looks to be out of at least winning contention. You might notice someone near and dear to the Spesta Corp family of drivers in this field. The number 99 of Derek Cope is back in the field. You might remember his shenanigans all of last season, including finishing second at Daytona, flipping at Michigan, and Talladega, and then ramming the pit road wall at Bristol. It was all the highlights of the season. They were able to repair some of the damage on Frank Kimmel's number 46, although he is now 1 lap down. Jeff Gordon, however, along with Mark Martin, did not come down pit road for repairs. Green flag. You might notice something about the takeoff speed of these cars. Considering they are late models, they are running crate 300 horsepower engines that do not develop nearly as good of an acceleration as a Cup car, but Jeff Burton down to the inside of Phil Parsons challenging him for the lead, and at the start-finish line it is Burton to lead that lap. Kelly Moore down onto the inside of Michael Waltrip, but Kerry Earnhardt takes him 3 wide. A little bit of contact between the 2 and 47. But it looks like Earnhardt will move up into third position. Carl Edwards is on to pit road. I'm assuming maybe for a tire failure. Earnhardt moves up to third. Ricky Craven, in what will likely be his final start in the race car, moves up into fourth position in the 32. Craven just moved Earnhardt up off the bottom of the racetrack as Phil Parsons down on the inside of Burton. Parsons will take out the lead. There is the lap car of Carl Edwards pulling out right in front of race leader Phil Parsons, slowing him down. Kenny Wallace just made a huge impact to the inside retaining wall. In the race back to the flag, it is Phil Parsons above Jeff Burton, Ricky Craven, Steve Grissom, and Kerry Earnhardt. So there is Mike Bliss in the 16 car on the inside of Kenny Wallace. Makes contact with him exiting turn number 2, and a straight impact into the inside wall, causing what will likely be terminal damage to Kenny Wallace in the 36. And that caution for Wallace managed to save Carl Edwards from dropping a second lap down. So, along with Frank Kimmel, those two are the only ones one lap behind race leader Phil Parsons. And this was slowing down when the field first took the caution. There's Ron Hornaday in the 16, gets into the back of Todd Bodine. Gets quite significant front end damage, although he did not pit on this cycle to repair that hood buckle. Ted Musgrave has slowed and pulled onto pit road. We do not presently know his issue, although he is still consistently slowing and will likely stall right there in the middle of the pit road. Green flag. Parsons got a very good jump above Burton as they fan out into turn number 1. As you see Mike Bliss back in the field getting around Terry Labonte. Now the 32 car of Ricky Craven is trying to set up a move on the inside of Jeff Burton. That moves Craven up into second. Steve Grissom trying to follow suit into third position. Now Grissom on the inside of Craven. And Steve Grissom has just taken up second. We are back under caution. And in the race back to the flag, it was Parsons above Grissom, Craven, Burton, and Michael Waltrip. Well, this race is shaping up to be a bit of a wreck fest, but can you really blame most of these drivers? They've been out of cars for close to 10 years. So Ruderman clips the 16 car of Ron Hornaday, gets pretty significant rear end damage. I guess that equals out the hood buckle that he got earlier with Todd Bodine, but will not be out of the race. So a bit of an interesting story with the 17 car of Matt Kenseth. So as you know, he currently drives the 42 car for Chip Ganassi Racing and Cup, replacing the recently fired Kyle Larson. But at the beginning of the year, he had already signed the contract with Roush Fenway to run the 17 here in the Legends race. So he's actually honoring both contracts by running the 17 here today, and then running the Cup Series event in the 42 with Ganassi. Green flag, just 7 laps to go in stage 1. There's Randy LaJoie on the inside of Kyle Petty taking up the 6th position with Ricky Craven now shoving a nose on the inside of the 41. That will move Craven up into 2nd position. Phil Parsons still your leader. Craven is right on the back bumper of Parsons. Mike Skinner is on pit road. Not quite sure the reason of that as the 32 car goes on the inside of the 55. And Ricky Craven is now your leader. Jeff Burton and Michael Waltrip battle for the 3rd position in the 55 and 66 cars. Waltrip will take up the position. Steve Grissom moving back up into 4th, getting around Burton. So Mike Skinner dropped out of the race for a failing suspension component. So unfortunately the 5 car of Skinner is out of it. Take a look at the 2 Truck Series announcers. Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip go at it for the 2nd position with the 15 car right on the back bumper of the 55. Michael Waltrip takes a look on the inside of Parsons. Moves him up off the bottom. Waltrip will hold 2nd at the line as Ricky Craven takes the white flag in stage 1. The 41 car of Grissom moves up into 3rd position, and Ricky Craven will win the 1st stage of the Legends race above Michael Waltrip, Steve Grissom, Phil Parsons, and it was Jack Sprague who got 5th position at the stripe above Kelly Moore. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by Built by Me Chassis and Engine Parts, by Smeat Heat, the real canned meat paste, and by Start and Park, the official motel brand of NASCAR. David Rudeman is hitting pit road under caution. I would assume that he as well is having a tire issue. And there's the green flag for Stage 2. Michael Waltrip takes a look on the inside of Craven. Moves him up off the bottom of the track. At the stripe, it's Michael Waltrip to lead at the line, as Craven is stuck on the middle groove. Now Steve Grissom pulls down to the inside of Michael Waltrip. Waltrip has to get out of the throttle. The 41 car washes up the hill, and Steve Grissom is now your leader. Phil Parsons trying to follow suit up into second position. He's got the spot off of Waltrip. And Jack Sprague in the 24 car has just moved up into third position, now making a move on the inside of Parsons. And it looks like he's got the spot. Jack Sprague up into second. Ricky Craven just dove it into turn number 3. He is challenging Parsons for the third spot. And we are back under caution in the race back to the flag. It was Grissom above Sprague, Craven, Parsons, and Waltrip. Well, this ain't going to be the best moment with fans. There's Mike Dillon in the 3 car, spinning Dale Earnhardt Jr. into the inside wall. Heavy front end damage on the 8 car of Earnhardt. We should also mention that Kelly Moore in the 47 is stalled in his pit stall. And the pole sitter, Kerry Earnhardt, has stalled in pit road. Green flag, less than 20 laps to go in Stage 2. There's Randy LaJoie on the inside of Michael Waltrip trying to crack the top 5. Looks like he will do it as they enter turn number 3. 24 car of Jack Sprague now on the inside of Steve Grissom. Looks like Sprague will take up the position. Jack Sprague now out front. Ricky Craven dives into turn number 3. With Grissom stuck up on the high line, he will probably lose quite a few spots with that inside line very well formed up. Craven up into second. Looks like Parsons will take up third. Randy LaJoie hoping to follow suit into fourth. Now they were able to get Kerry Earnhardt's car back out on the racetrack, but he is 2 laps behind race leader Sprague. Here comes Craven on the inside of the 24. Ricky Craven is now your leader as the 74 car challenges the 55 for the third spot. LaJoie holds the position. Now Sprague back to the inside of the 32. Once again, Jack Sprague is your leader. Kyle Petty in the 45 car has just broken his way up into the top 5. Randy LaJoie down the inside of Craven. That moves the 74 car up into second. We've now passed the halfway point in the race as Kyle Petty takes up the 4th spot off the 32. Now down to the inside of the 55 of Phil Parsons. Randy LaJoie with a pretty big run on the 24 car of Jack Sprague. He's got a bit of a nose under as they exit turn number 2. And Randy LaJoie is now your leader. Sprague will fall down into second with Kyle Petty in third, Terry Labonte in fourth, and Ricky Craven in fifth. Sprague being on the high line has let Kyle Petty onto his inside. That's incredible. Kyle Petty has just moved up into second spot. Terry Labonte has taken up third, Ricky Craven up into fourth. Now Phil Parsons challenging the 24 for the 5th position. Randy LaJoie now hoping to put a bit of a separation above him and Kyle Petty. But as we've seen all day long with this low horsepower spec engine, every car built the same, they've been racing like mad. There's Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart battling side by side for the 8th position. Looks like Labonte will take up the spot. Terry Labonte now on the inside of Kyle Petty. Looks like Labonte will take up the position with the 32 car of Ricky Craven moving up into 3rd spot. Dale Jarrett in the 88 UPS Ford has just moved up into 7th. And now Randy LaJoie has started to meet lap traffic as he is right on the back bumper of the lap car of Frank Kimmel. Ricky Craven has just taken up second off of Terry Labonte, as Phil Parsons will take up the third spot. Now the 74 is being slowed down very heavily by Frank Kimmel. That has let the 32 car get right up to his back bumper. Jack Sprague just moved Kyle Petty up off the inside line. That will move Sprague up into fourth position. Now just 2 laps to go in stage 2. Randy LaJoie still your leader above Ricky Craven. Craven is within striking distance, though, if he tries to run it really hard into one of these next few corners. But just as I say that, now Phil Parsons peeks his nose under the 32 to move up into second, as Randy LaJoie takes the white flag in stage 2. Coming out of turn number 4, Randy LaJoie will win stage 2 above Phil Parsons, Jack Sprague, Ricky Craven, your stage 1 winner, and Kyle Petty in 5th. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by Built by Me Chassis and Engine Parts, by Smeaty, the real canned meat paste, and by Start & Park, the official motel brand of NASCAR. And there's the green flag for the final stage. Less than 30 laps to go here at Mansfield, as Randy LaJoie does not get a very good jump above Phil Parsons. Parsons right on his back bumper as they exit turn number 2. Now the 55 car taking a look on the inside. He just moved LaJoie up off the bottom. LaJoie led at the stripe, but Phil Parsons will take the lead as they head off into turn number 1. Sprague will take up second position. Ricky Craven will take up the third spot, with Terry Labonte on the inside line trying to take up fourth off LaJoie. Now Jack Sprague really dives it in on the inside of Phil Parsons. Sprague will take up the lead as they exit turn number 4. Ricky Craven now down to the inside of the 55. He will take up second. Craven with a run on Sprague. And Ricky Craven is now your leader. Terry Labonte running side by side with the 24 of Sprague for the second position. Labonte, the 1984 and 1996 Winston Cup champion, will take up the second spot. Then two-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie will move up into third. Craven just ran turn number 1 quite wide, but Labonte could not take advantage of the 32 car's mistake. LaJoie forces Labonte up off the bottom, trying to take up second spot. Now you see both Labonte brothers into this mix, with Bobby Labonte running in fourth. Now taking up the third spot off of his brother Terry. Oh, Bobby Labonte ran turn number 3 very hard to get up onto the inside of Randy LaJoie. That will move Bobby Labonte up into the second position, with Ricky Craven gapping them by a pretty considerable amount now, almost half a second. The gap between first and second positions. Phil Parsons on the inside of Terry Labonte. That will move Phil Parsons back up into third spot. Bobby Labonte currently runs in second, behind Ricky Craven by 7/10. And there you see the 19 car. That's actually the lap car of Carl Edwards, returning to racing at the very least, but not having a very good run right now as he runs in 34th position, hoping to run down Ricky Craven to get back onto the lead lap. There is Bill Elliott in the 94 car. On the inside of Randy LaJoie, looks like he will take up fourth spot. Matt Kenseth, who made his first Cup Series start in a car owned by Bill Elliott, will take up fifth off LaJoie on the inside. Oh, and the 24 car of Jack Sprague has blown up, turning down in front of the field, spinning Dale Jarrett out. Caution flag is back out. Heavy damage on the 88 car of Jarrett. In the race back to the flag, it was Craven above Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, Phil Parsons, and Matt Kenseth. And what a shame for Sprague. He was having a very good race going, qualified in second position, but he is now out for an engine failure. I know these engines are spec and all the components are spec. We're having a lot of mechanical failures. Maybe they need to find different part suppliers. Green flag, just 11 laps to go here at Mansfield. Bobby Labonte already trying to take a look on the inside of Craven. And it looks like on the inside, Bill Elliott will be able to get around the lap car of Carl Edwards. They have a clear shot at the top two runners. Craven just ran turn number 1 wide, but Bobby Labonte wasn't able to get a good enough run on the exit of turn number 2. Matt Kenseth going 3 wide on the inside to get around the 55 car of Phil Parsons. Derek Cope is on pit road. I'm assuming probably a tire failure. Bill Elliott still runs in 3rd, Matt Kenseth in 4th, and right now 5th held by Randy LaJoie, although he is being challenged by Ricky Rudd for the position. And there's Derek Cope re-merging onto the racetrack in front of the race leaders, although they are able to get around the 99 car cleanly. Bobby Labonte now onto the inside of Craven. They run side by side down the back straightaway, but Bobby Labonte will take the lead as they enter turn number 3. Bill Elliott thinking about going 3 wide for the spot. And Bill Elliott is now your leader at Mansfield. Ricky Craven now turning onto the inside of Bobby Labonte, trying to retake that 2nd spot off the 18. Just 5 laps to go here at Mansfield. Ricky Rudd has driven his way up into 4th. He battles alongside Phil Parsons. Craven is right on the back bumper of Bill Elliott with just a few laps to go here as Phil Parsons goes on the inside of Bobby Labonte for the 3rd spot. It looks like we now have a 2-man race to decide the inaugural Legends race at Mansfield. Kyle Petty making a 3 wide move on the inside, trying to move up into 3rd spot. Getting around Labonte and Parsons in the same move. Just 2 laps to go. Bill Elliott went a little bit wide into turn 1, let the 32 car of Craven on his inside. Ricky Craven passes him as they now exit turn number 4 to take the white flag in the Legends race. Caution flag is out. Yellow flag has fallen on the speedway, and guess what? This race cannot end under caution. We are going to re-rack the field with a 2-lap dash with only the lead lap cars. So coming off of turn number 2, Jimmy Spencer going 4 wide on the inside, makes contact with Jeff Gordon, spinning him down into the inside wall, making contact with both the front and rear ends. And here we go for a double file restart, with Ricky Craven likely in his final start in any sort of race car. Bill Elliott on the outside, Kyle Petty in 3rd, and Todd Bodine in 4th. Just 2 laps to decide who will win the inaugural NASCAR Hall of Fame Legends race at Mansfield. Green flag. Craven gets the jump he needed. Kyle Petty moves up into 2nd position. Rudd and Petty battle for 2nd spot, with Ricky Rudd taking up the position on the inside line as Ricky Craven takes the white flag at Mansfield. Rudd versus Craven. I don't think Rudd's going to have a shot at him. The last time we saw this was Darlington 2003, but guess what? Craven got him again. Ricky Craven wins the inaugural NASCAR Hall of Fame Legends race at Mansfield. Ricky Craven wins it above Ricky Rudd, Bobby Labonte, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Petty, Steve Grissom, Todd Bodine, Mike Bliss, Jimmy Spencer getting a 9th place finish, and Bill Elliott, who fell all the way down to 10th in just 2 laps. The next race is the inaugural Chevrolet Accessories 400 right here at Mansfield as the Cup Series take on this rough and tumble half mile. You can catch it all right here on the Speed Station.